r/AskReddit. What is the stupidest way you've injured yourself? Was helping husband replace the bathroom fan, so I was standing on the side of the bathtub. I had this plastic hook glued to the shower wall to hang a loofah on. I went to get down and slid down the wall and hooked my butt cheek to the wall. It hurt so bad, but was also hilarious. I'm in my 40s and this happened recently. I bent over while having a shower and gouged a hole above my tailbone on the bath tap. Wasn't prepared for that and snorted my drink out my nose. I swear, bathrooms are hell for this kind of thing. My dad fell through the floor while having a shower. It was like a scene out of The Money Pit. I managed to break a toe kicking a balloon. Explain. Someone else kicked it at the same time, and instead of popping it transferred the force and broke my big toe. My mum didn't believe I could have broken it, so made me walk to school on it. Shot myself in the eye with a Nerf gun. I looked into the barrel to see if it was loaded. I was 8. Sounds like a supervillain backstory. Similar situation with a slingshot and a ball bearing. Luckily it hit my tooth and not my eye. Luckily it was also a baby tooth. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. There it is. I found my dad's EpiPen one day while looking for mouth spray for sore throats. It obviously wasn't what I was looking for, but I wanted to figure out how it worked. I ended up shooting the needle clear through my thumb. I then hid the evidence of my stupidity and never told my mom until years later. I'm sure your heart was racing for multiple reasons, not even counting the epinephrine. Yikes. Not me, but a babysitter when I was about 6. She was watching me and my 1-year-old brother and went snooping in my dad's stuff. He was military in a job that stood alerts often, and he kept a gas mask and such in a go bag at home. This 16-year-old screwed around and injected herself with an atropine auto-injector in the hand. Her screams alerted me. I called the club my parents were at and told them. They called an ambulance. The sitter was almost unconscious when they took her away as my parents got home. I still remember the weird color she turned. What's atropine? A drug derived from belladonna, deadly nightshade plant that reverses the effect of some nerve gas, among other medical uses. Held a lighter to my ear to listen for gas flow. Click and there went some hair. One time I had a hell of a brain fart and almost lit my face on fire. I was trying to light a blunt, and usually I have the blunt in my left hand at my lips and the lighter in my right. Sometimes I switch hands the objects are in, but for some damn reason, one night I held the lighter in my left hand up to my lips and the blunt pressed up against the lighter. Lips pursed and everything. I lit the lighter. Lips got hot before I realized what the duck I was doing. Couple hours later, I noticed my eyebrows were singed. I was stone cold sober at the time. Punch myself in the tit while trying to duck around with my sleeves. I don't know how it happens, but it happens often. Having punched, smacked, squeezed, bruised my tits since they grew in. I'm pretty sure they are their own entities. Yes, I spelled it that way on purpose. I don't know how, but I regularly gouge myself in the nipple with my very long thumbnail when I'm getting ready in the morning. Just stab. I live in Minnesota, so I'm used to kicking snow off my boots by slamming my toe part of the boot down on the ground. Well, it was summer, and I happened to get my running shoes absolutely covered in mud. So I instinctively slammed my toes down on the pavement and broke 4 toes. Holy duck. I get that running shoes don't exactly have the same structural support as a winter boot, but damn son. How much force did you pack into that stomp? The more I wear steel toes, the more I gotta wear steel toes or I'll inevitably kick something thinking my foot is an armored block. I didn't particularly like steel toes until someone sat a pallet with 2,000 pounds of tile down on them. Immediately thought my toes were going to be mush, but if it wasn't for not being able to move my foot I couldn't tell there was anything on it. My friend saw a jellyfish on the beach then kicked it. like on purpose, and knowing what it was. They had to go to the level of badass of, that jellyfish is through the roof. You are washed up on the shore, so you are on the enemy's territory. It's hot, you are straight up melting. You have no legs or arms to fight back, and yet you do. You poison that little brat straight into the air. What a legend. When I was a kid, I found a dead jellyfish on the beach, picked it up, and carried it over to my mom. Then I said my hands are burning, and threw it down on her feet. Sorry, mom. I was pulling a heavy blanket up, my hand slipped off of it, and my thumb, with a longish nail, went straight into my eye. Oh my god, I just flinched reading that. Did that result in a hospital trip? I've done this on more than one occasion, since the male part and just punching myself in the cheekbone, as well as when pulling up the sleeve of a hoodie or sweater that's too tight on the arms. Edit. Words added. Ouch. I'd ripped nail clippers on my damn eye once. That hurt so bad for so long. Did it scar your eye, or whatever? Threw a grape in the air, to catch it in my mouth. It fell on the floor, and I bent down, to pick it up and smashed my face into the windowsill. That actually made me laugh. Sorry. Is a grape okay? This was the only thing that made me verbally laugh. Carving a stick. Instead of carving it away from me, I carved it towards myself, and sliced my thumb open. Shaved hairs but towards myself, and took off a slice of my thumbnail. Twice. I did similar thing with cabbage. Almost cut of the tip of my tongue. I was in the 4th or 5th grade, but I jumped down an entire flight of stairs. Landed hard and hurt my foot. Walked on it for a day or two afterwards. Turned out I shattered my heel and broke my ankle. Hey, I did that same thing in college. Drank hot tea lying down. The first thing you learn in British school is to never drink tea lying down. See, this one is just one of those times where human thinking isn't at its peak. I got out of a long hot shower and noticed a thread dangling off of my shirt, and when I tried to pull it out it just neatly sliced through several millimeters of my finger. It was so minor I can hardly even call it an injury, but getting cut by a shirt is definitely the stupidest I've had. Why were you wearing a shirt in the shower? Wouldn't it get wet? I once tore a fingernail in half down the middle in a freak pants buttoning accident. To this day I have no idea how it even happened. It just did. I broke a rib by coughing too hard. I'm just getting over the flu. Did the same thing. I did something similar to this. I pulled an intercostal rib muscle, the muscles that hold your ribs together, when I had a violent stomach bug. Went on a trip, slept on a futon for a week and got home. I was carrying my suitcase through my kitchen and gave a tiny little weak cough. It felt like I was gunshot in the ribs. The muscle popped right off in the pulled spot and tore. The doctor said, if I ever had to do it again, break the rib. My particular injury took around 10 months to fully heal and not feel like I was being knifed every time I moved wrong or coughed or sneezed. When I was a kid we had blue carpet in the living room. I had just watched some movie or show where the characters jumped into a painting and I started thinking maybe if I believed really hard, the blue carpet would turn into a vast ocean. So I climbed up on the recliner and swanned up into the floor. When I was maybe 5 or 6 I had recurring dreams that if I ran downhill against the wind fast enough and jumped, I could fly. They were extremely realistic. It was also very frequent, to the point where I began to doubt their status as dreams. One day, I noticed the wind was blowing up the hill we live atop. I decided to try it. I sprinted full speed down this hill and leapt as hard as I could, and promptly smashed my face against the sidewalk. I can hear the narrator's voice going, "Blue carpets do not, in fact, turn into vast oceans," as little you/Hugo was about to find out. I was a dumb kid. I wondered how much it would hurt if I whacked myself in the head with a hammer. It hurt a lot. Edit. Dear God, don't let this be my internet legacy. So how much did it hurt? It's the darndest thing, but I can't remember. I have so many responses to this, my goodness me. Tore a tendon in my finger when tearing a single sheet of paper. Knocked myself out by bumping my head whilst on the Eiffel Tower. Fell off the bed and sprained my ankle whilst trying to remove a moth from my brother's room. Broke my knuckle when I banged my hand against the door accidentally whilst dancing. The list is endless. You need to be, like, put in a straitjacket for your own protection. Not me but my best friend. She tried to iron her pants while wearing them. Your friend is the reason obvious warning labels exist. Lol. Punch a cacti. My brother was wearing socks with sandals. First mistake, and was 15 or 16 when we went on holidays. He never seen a cactus before and decided to kick it. He learnt a lesson that day, a lesson on how dumb he is. When I was 6, back in the backward 60s, our family went to Universal Studios. We saw several movie and TV sets which were really cool. Lots of fake items meant to look real. So of course I wanted to touch the cactus on the western sets because they looked so fuzzy and soft. This led to several hours of pulling out spines from my fingers. You've reached the end. You're a star. Destroy the subscribe button for more like that.